Good morning. Have a seat. I'm Jim Cutshall. I am truly blessed. I had wonderful parents, a wonderful wife of 53 years before her passing, two wonderful kids, four wonderful grandchildren. That blessing comes with an obligation to give back. When I think of stewardship, I think of 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure. With time, you show up, and I think about Roy McNeely and his 35 years of mowing the lawn, and John Pitts and all the work that he has done for so many different years. With talent, you use God's given talents, and I think of the choir, the beautiful music, the altar guild, ARM, the vestry, and the list goes on. And with treasure, you share what God has given you based upon your blessings, each of us in our own way. We're all called to do the 3 T's. As a child, I had a mite box, and we were taught about giving to the church with our pennies and nickels and dimes. As an adult, I began my stewardship journey. We, like everyone else, had all the everyday costs of raising a family and cost that goes with that. And at some point in time, the church come knocking, and you look back and you say, what's left? And you give out of that. We looked at our budget and decided on a dollar amount, and typically year to year we increased that pledge. We tended to give based upon what is left over instead of our blessings. We had bumps along the roads like everybody else. As our journey continued, our blessings continued to pile up, and our blessings started to play a more central role in our giving. At one time, we reached the 5% level and thought that was good. We continued to increase that giving. When we were about within 3% or so of tithe, I heard Job Griffin. Some of you may remember Job, the family, before they moved off. And he talked about his journey and his wife and his children, his 3 children. He talked about his blessings, and they were close, and they decided to make the plunge, and they went to 10% tithe. He said from then on, it was an easy thing. He wrote down his total income, then he multiplied it by 10%, and that's what he put on his pledge card. A note, normally I'm a very private person when it talks about my giving. I share my journey because of Tony asking me to share. I thought maybe hearing about Job's journey and what affected me might be a good recourse. It was then that Harriet and I decided that we would take the plunge and we would give 10%. From then on, it became very easy because it just was a no-brainer at that point in time. Then some years later, we started to look at our abundance, and we started giving out of our abundance. This gave us really great joy, and the reason of that was being able to share our blessings. Understand, this did not happen just all at once. It was a journey where we began to put it first in our budget instead of what was left over. On my first tour of duty as a vestry member, I had an eye-opener when it came to budget time. The church requires money to operate. Funny thing, you might say. But you know, that's really no different than what each of our households have. Sometime after I was treasurer, and the account balance and the bills coming in became real important and became an eye-opener. It was no different, again, than a household. During my second term in the vestry, I was a junior warden and was responsible for the church facilities. Losing an AC unit was a big deal on a tight budget. Personnel is a large part of our budget with our priests, our music director, our secretary, our organist, the sexton. Back to my stewardship journey. As we learn more, we look more closely at our pledge. As we went forward, our stewardship drive became less of a gut-wrenching thing that came about once a year, thinking about it. And again, later on in life, I happened on a book. I don't know how many of you have heard of Dave Ramsey, but he talks about financial peace and money management. It was kind of interesting because we did most of what Dave Ramsey teaches in his book before he ever wrote his book. I remember him saying on a radio program, putting off today for a prosperous tomorrow. We did that, and that has helped us in our journey. It would be a really good book for any young person. In the book, he talks about giving as a part of your journey and the joy you have in being able to share as a result of your blessings. Besides our church pledge, we give to other things. I was taught when I was young, to whom much is given, much is required. And we tried to make that a part of our journey in our giving. So where are you in this journey? Have you moved from whatever is left over, or is it the first line item on your budget? Each of our lives are different. Each of us have struggles. We each walk in different shoes and have different life challenges as we go forward. I said earlier, I am truly blessed and have, as a result, have been able to do more. As Paul said in today's epistle, we each need to be content in what we can do, and that will change us as we continue our individual journey. Thank you.